Somebody once told me, you have to go through hell to achieve resurrection. Hallelujah.
I'm so happy Dexter's back. My wife and I loved the original series. We loved that he came back a couple years ago, and then this new resurrection. Wow. I've gotten to see 4 episodes, and I absolutely love it. So I want to start with New Blood. I mean, when New Blood ended, Dexter was literally in the snow, bleeding out. I thought, and many fans thought, that that was a definitive conclusion. How soon after that were you thinking, maybe he didn't die?
Yeah, it was probably almost 3 years. A conversation I had with Marco Siega, our producing director, in which I posed that very question, like, what if he didn't die? Yeah, what if that bullet didn't do him in? If it didn't, what would that look like? How would it change him? What storytelling opportunities would be afforded were he to survive that? And I became increasingly compelled and excited by the idea that this gunshot to the chest administered by his son, if it didn't kill him, might be the thing that finally allowed him to put his past down and not be burdened by it in the same way. He doesn't forget it, but he's able to stop lugging it around, and maybe get back to who he essentially is in a way that he hasn't quite been able to do.
Looking back at that ending, were you looking for closure with the character back on New Blood when they ended it the way they did?
I suppose I was definitely looking for closure to that chapter, and I think that ending did serve to provide some necessary closure. The only way Dexter could be where he is now is for what happened to have happened. We shot that season as one big 10-hour movie, so we were doing it all totally out of order. I think we shot that scene within the first couple of weeks. So even shooting New Blood, he was already dead. In my imagination. But the idea of a character like Dexter getting a second chance at life, I think is really interesting. And I think he's really interested in what life looks like, what the universe is telling him, that life isn't finished with him yet. And so he's trying to step up and live a life that's more authentically in line with who he fundamentally experiences himself to be. And that is a killer and a father.
I loved the open-endedness of the original series, and it was almost a decade before you came back. What sparked the interest in returning to Dexter?
Time had passed. While narratively, I thought Dexter's self-imposed exile at the end of the series proper made sense. I knew that it wasn't satisfying for fans, and to a degree wasn't satisfying for me. I wanted to find out what had become of him and was interested in rejoining him in real time. And so we took the plunge.
I urge you to be careful, son. I'm tired of being careful.
Fans are going to love the villains in Resurrection. What can you tell us? Because they gave me a long list of spoilers. But what can you tell us about the people Dexter's going to go up against this season?
As Dexter says, only in New York. Dexter finding himself in New York makes it plausible that he would trip into an invitation to a dinner party thrown by a fetishistic billionaire that invited other killers to the table. I think he's never encountered such a concentrated gathering of darkness and potential victims, but at the same time, he's encountering people he at least initially thinks might be like-minded and peers and friends. And so his desire for that kind of connection is exploited at a time that simultaneously finds him with a buffet of victims before him. But it's an amazing ensemble that agreed to sign up and join us for this. It was very gratifying for us that we got people of that caliber to take the ride.
Incredible. You've been playing him for almost 20 years. Michael, how good would you be at cleanup if I needed you to come clean up a crime scene for me?
Probably not that good. I mean, I'd be better at it for having spent the time I've spent doing this, but thankfully, what Dexter's up to is only something that I simulate in this fictional context. I'm thankful that I'm not compelled to do what he does.
My wife and I were saying to one another, man, we just love this character, and we've loved him for almost 20 years. Why do people relate to him?
I don't know. He's a man of remarkable capability and remarkable limitation at the same time. He has an undeniable resiliency about him, a sort of blind optimism in terms of his willingness to continue to engage with his life. And I don't know, we all have some sort of darkness we have to negotiate. And I think people relish the chance to spend time with someone whose darkness is so formidable and really does endeavor to take responsibility for.
It's interesting. Shower curtain's been around a while, but the plastic curtain liner is new. Okay. Thinking he used the plastic liner to wrap the body. And then replaced it with a new one. He may be following in my footsteps.
I'm not sure that's something to be happy about.